When working with students with significant disabilities, it's important that I have a system in place to teach independent daily living skills for the wide range of abilities and needs that I have in my own classroom. So today I'm going to show you the way I've used structured work system to teach those independent living skills. The system that I have used to teach these independent living skills to my students was based on a local district's transition house. Now, this district was fortunate enough to come across $300,000 to build a very nice house to teach independent living skills. My district didn't have that same opportunity, and so I was given a second classroom and basically told, make a transition house. So this room has a combination of those daily living skills. We have some setup in here that includes like a bed, couches, just different things to make it a little more homey. And we also worked in some vocational skills training. So it's kind of a all-in-one structured work system. So to begin, my students will come in and they go to this first bulletin board, which is right by the door. And on it are all these different pages that have their names, a QR code, and some lines for me to write letters on. They find their name, they use iPad, they scan the QR code, and that allows them to clock in. I have it set up to go to a Google spreadsheet, and they can enter the time that they started, and then when they're done working, they'll scan it again, and they will put their time out, and it'll calculate how much they get paid. I do pay my students using either fake cash money, or for some of my higher level students, I write them a check and they keep a bank register. With that money, they're allowed to buy from my store, which you'll note on the side says Miss Short Store, and that's just some different items that I know that my students enjoy, and that's a big reward for them to get to do that twice a month. So once they have clocked in, they then take a look at the letters that are under their names. As you can see, for some students I may have only 3 letters, and for some students I may have several letters. This really depends on what their ability level is to work for long periods of time. Some students really can only get through 3 tasks in a class period, or they don't have the stamina to complete as many tasks. I also have a variety of levels of tasks, and so a student who is only completing 3 may be doing very simple tasks, whereas a student who is at kind of an expert level and able to do several tasks may do things that are more difficult. Once they come in, they look at the letters on the list, they then find that letter and match it to the list over here. And so, for instance, for this student, A, they come over here and find folding towels. To reinforce this, I also have the letters throughout the room on the task themselves. So that way the students, if they struggle with the reading skills, at least can find the letter in the room. Most of the students that participate in this can do this part of it independently, although I do have a few that need a little more support. So the types of skills that we work on are things like, I have folding towels, folding shirts, hanging clothes, making the bed. But then I also have vocational tasks like folding pizza boxes, stocking gift cards, we have filing paper, sorting mail. So there's a wide variety of tasks. As you can see throughout the year, sometimes I add new tasks that weren't there previously, or I replace tasks. I also have some seasonal ones. For instance, we do gift wrapping at Christmas time. Sometimes we address letters and Valentine's Day. So it just really depends on the time of year. For most students, just getting the money is reward enough. But for a few of my students, we also need to have additional token chart for reinforcement. So those students have their own token charts that they carry with them, and they can choose what their reward is, and then they get a check mark for each task. As you can notice, in this case, this is a 3 task checklist. I do have more if they need it, but most of the students that are requiring this level of support are only able to do 3 tasks at a time. So to show examples of what kind of task I might have, over here I have things like folding towels, or we have folding laundry, or I have hanging clothes. To provide support for the students, we also have the task analysis here. And this shows the different steps of how to complete this task. My students actually one year during summer school helped me create these, so you can see that there's a person completing those tasks in each of those pictures. I use the clothespin. They can use that to check off where they are for those who need that support. Most of the students master these tasks pretty quickly and don't really need this continued level of support, but I keep it there for those who do. So just showing some of the things we have. Like I said, we have the towels, the folding shirts, hanging laundry. We have a bed in here so we can practice making the bed. We have a variety of work tasks. We have things like filling salt and pepper shakers, packing lunches, sorting the mail, collating papers, filing, using a hole punch, shredding paper. We have stocking gift cards and brochures, packing cleaning supplies. I have over on the counter, I have measurements for like liquid measuring cup, dry measuring cup, and measuring spoons. We have setting the table, wiping the counters. I even have vacuuming and sweeping. So that's a brief overview of the system that I have in place for teaching independent living skills. What's great about this system is that I can have a para run this whole system by themselves. I usually have a binder here with lists of the skills that the students can do independently, and skills that the students can do with help. And the para can actually help select the skills that we're going to work on that week. The para can also track data on it and can help students when needed, but they know what level of support each of those students needs. I've been using the system for the last 3 years, and I found that it's really helped to increase independence, and it's really expanded the daily living skills that my students show, not just at school but at home. I have a student who got used to running the dishwasher here, and his mom was shocked when he just started running the dishwasher at home as well. So that's been really great to have that transference of skills. I'm always working to improve it. Every year I add new tasks. Usually throughout the year I add new tasks. So I'm constantly updating the room and just expanding what we have available. One of the things that I'm looking into doing next year is to create video modeling of all the different tasks. I like to use those QR codes. My students are familiar with them, and most of my students have their own iPad that they can carry with them. So having those QR codes on each of the tasks, the students can scan it, they can have a visual model of how to do it, and that can help pull back some of the para support. Thank you.